Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Yes, today we're talking about something very important, not just for learning English but for everything in life. The topic is why consistency is more important than talent.
That's a big one. A lot of people believe that talent is everything. But the truth is, being consistent can take you much further.
Absolutely. We've seen this in English learners too, right? Some people are naturally good, but they don't practice. And others may struggle in the beginning, but they keep going little by little.
Exactly. And those are the learners who really improve. So today, we'll talk about why consistency is more powerful than talent, share examples, and give you tips to stay consistent in your English journey.
And we'll even do a fun role play later, comparing a talented but lazy learner with a consistent one. It'll be fun and useful.
So grab your notebook, maybe a cup of tea or coffee, and let's dive in. Are you ready, Jason?
Always ready, Julia. Let's get started. Okay, Julia, before we go deeper into today's topic, let's first explain two important words: talent and consistency. What do they really mean?
Great idea, Jason. So first, talent. Talent means you're naturally good at something. You don't need to try too hard. For example, someone might be talented at singing. They sing well even without much training.
Right. Or a person might be talented at learning languages. They pick up new words quickly and understand grammar easily, almost like magic.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Talent is not everything. Talent is just a starting point. Now, let's talk about consistency.
Yes. Consistency means you keep doing something regularly. Even if you're not perfect, you keep showing up. You practice again and again.
For example, someone may not be talented in English, but they study every day, even just 15 minutes. They keep learning, practicing, and slowly getting better. That's consistency.
And in the long run, the consistent learner will often become better than the naturally talented one who doesn't practice.
Absolutely. Talent can help you in the beginning, but consistency helps you grow. It's the key to real success.
So, in short, talent is natural ability, and consistency is daily action. And guess what? You don't need to be born with talent, but anyone, yes, anyone, can be consistent.
That's the beautiful part. No matter your level, you can choose to be consistent, and that will change your English learning journey.
Well said, Julia. Now that we know what talent and consistency are, let's look at why talent alone is not enough. All right? So now we know what talent and consistency mean. But let's go a little deeper. Julia, have you ever seen someone who's very talented but doesn't work hard?
Oh yes, many times. In school, I knew a boy who was great at English. He understood quickly, spoke fluently, and didn't need to study much. But you know what happened?
Let me guess. He stopped improving?
Exactly, because he relied only on his talent. He didn't do his homework, didn't read, and thought he was already good enough. After some time, the other students who were practicing every day got better than him.
Wow, that's such a common story. Talent can sometimes make people lazy. They feel like they don't need to try.
Yes, it's like they're stuck in the same place while others are moving forward slowly, step by step.
And here's another problem. When talented people face something hard, they give up more easily. Because they're not used to struggling. They think, if I can't do it easily, maybe I'm not good at it.
That's true. But consistent learners, they already know learning takes time. So when something is difficult, they keep going. They don't give up so fast.
Exactly. Talent can be helpful, But if it's not supported by hard work and consistent effort, it doesn't lead to real success.
Think about learning English. If you only speak English when you feel like it, maybe once a week, you won't improve much, even if you're talented.
Right. But if you practice every day, even just 15 minutes, you will see big results after a few months. That's the power of being consistent.
So, the problem with relying only on talent is simple. It's not enough. It may give you a good start, but it won't carry you to the finish line.
And for our listeners, this is great news. You don't need to be the smartest or most talented person in the room. You just need to show up every day and put in the effort.
Yes, success doesn't belong to the talented. It belongs to the ones who keep going.
Well said, Julia. Now, let's make it more fun with some real-life stories of people who succeeded with consistency. All right, now it's time for some real stories. Julia, do you have an example of someone who wasn't super talented but became successful through consistency?
Yes! Let me tell you about one of my students. Her name is Amina. When she first started learning English, she was very shy and slow. She didn't understand much grammar and her pronunciation wasn't clear.
Sounds like a tough beginning.
It was. But here's the thing. Amina never gave up. She practiced English every single day. She watched short English videos, listened to podcasts like this one, and even kept a journal in English.
Wow, that's real dedication.
Yes. After 6 months, her confidence grew. After a year, she could hold full conversations. And now, she works as an assistant at an international company.
That's amazing. She wasn't the most talented, but she was the most consistent. That made all the difference.
Exactly. And Jason, do you have a story too?
I do. I always think of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. When he was young, he failed many exams. His English wasn't great. In fact, he was rejected from many jobs, even KFC.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, but he didn't give up. He practiced English every morning by talking to tourists in his city. He did this for years. That's how he improved through consistent practice. Later, he became a global business leader.
That's such an inspiring story. It shows that consistency isn't just for school. It works in real life, too.
Absolutely. And here's one more quick example. Famous athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo. He wasn't the most naturally talented when he was young, but he trained harder than anyone else. That's why he became one of the best in the world.
So true. Talent can help you start, but consistency helps you finish strong.
And for our listeners, don't worry if English is hard right now. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep going. Even 15 minutes a day can change your life.
Yes, be like Amina, be like Ronaldo. Just show up every day. That's the real secret to success.
Well said, Julia. And now, let's have some fun with a role play. A talented learner versus a consistent one. All right, it's time for our role play. Julia, are you ready?
Yes, in this role play, I'll be Lina, the talented English learner. And Jason, you'll be Sarah, the consistent learner who works hard every day.
Perfect. Let's go.
Hi, Sarah. How's your English learning going?
Hey, Lena. It's going well. I'm learning a little bit every day. I just finished a short podcast and practiced 5 new words.
Really? You're still doing that daily stuff? I don't need to. English is easy for me. I already know a lot.
That's cool, but I still make mistakes. So I try to practice every day. Even 20 minutes helps me improve.
I don't have time for that. I just speak when I feel like it. I've got talent, you know.
Sure, but how often do you practice?
Maybe once or twice a week, or when I have free time. I don't need to work that hard.
I used to think that too. But now I can understand movies, join English chats, and even write emails at work.
Wait, really? But I'm the one with natural talent.
Yes, but I'm the one with consistency. I've improved so much because I didn't stop, even when it was difficult.
Maybe I should start practicing every day too.
You should. Talent is a gift, but it doesn't grow without effort. And seen. That was fun, Julia.
Yes, and I hope our listeners got the message. Even if you're talented like Lena, you need to practice like Sarah.
Right. Consistency always wins in the end.
So, listeners, ask yourself, are you being consistent with your English?
If not, don't worry. We're here to help you get there. And speaking of help, let's talk about how consistency helps you learn English faster in real life. All right, so let's bring it back to what really matters for our listeners, learning English. Julia, why do you think consistency is so important for English learners?
Good question, Jason. Learning a language is not something you can do all at once. It's not like learning to ride a bike. You need to use it regularly to remember it and improve.
Yes, language learning is like growing a plant. You don't pour all the water in one day, you water it a little every day. That's consistency.
Exactly. And when learners are consistent, they remember more vocabulary, they understand grammar better, and they become more confident when speaking.
And let's be honest, most people don't forget because they're not smart. They forget because they stop practicing.
That's so true. I've seen many learners who started strong but stopped after a few weeks. Then, when they returned, they had to start all over again.
Yes, but the students who just kept going, even for 10 minutes a day, they made real progress, slowly but surely.
Also, consistency builds habits. When you study every day, even just a little, your brain becomes used to English. It starts to feel natural.
That's the goal, to make English a normal part of your life, not something scary or difficult.
So if you're listening to this and thinking, I'm not good at English, just ask yourself, am I being consistent?
And if the answer is no, don't feel bad. You can start today. Just do a little bit every day. That's where the magic happens.
Yes, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Daily, weekly, regularly. That's how real English learners grow.
And we'll be with you every step of the way. All right, Julia, should we talk about some common mistakes learners make?
Absolutely. Let's go there next.
Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes English learners make. Starting strong, but stopping too soon.
Oh, yes. I've seen that so many times. In the beginning, people are super excited. They download apps, buy books, watch YouTube videos. But after a week or two, they stop.
Exactly. They expect fast results, and when they don't see big progress right away, they get discouraged.
Right. But learning a language is like going to the gym. You don't get strong in one day. You need time, patience, and effort.
That's why stopping too early is so dangerous. People say, I'm not improving, but they only practiced for a few days or a few weeks.
Yes. If you give up after 1 or 2 weeks, you miss the chance to grow. You were just starting to build a habit.
And sometimes learners stop because they feel embarrassed about mistakes. But mistakes are part of the journey.
Exactly. You learn by doing, by trying, failing, and trying again. So don't stop because it's hard. Keep going, even when it's slow.
So here's the message. Don't quit too early. Stay consistent, and your progress will surprise you.
Yes, you might not see it right away, but little by little it adds up. Trust the process.
Well said, Julia. Now let's share some helpful tips for staying consistent, especially when things get hard. All right, Julia, we know consistency is key, but sometimes it's hard to keep going. What tips can we give our listeners to help them stay consistent?
Great question, Jason. Here are a few simple but powerful tips.
Tip number 1. Set small, clear goals. Don't try to study for hours right away. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day is enough to make progress.
Yes, small goals are easier to reach and they build confidence. For example, learn 5 new words every day or practice speaking for 5 minutes.
Tip number 2. Create a routine. Pick a regular time every day for your English practice, like after breakfast or before bed.
When it becomes a habit, it feels natural. You won't have to think too much about it.
Tip number 3. Use things you enjoy. If you like music, listen to English songs. If you like movies, watch shows with subtitles. Make learning fun.
Yes, enjoyment helps keep you motivated. It doesn't feel like a chore.
Tip number 4. Find a study partner or join a group. Practicing with friends or other learners helps you stay accountable and motivated.
Absolutely. It's easier to keep going when someone is learning with you or cheering you on.
And last tip, celebrate small wins. Every new word, every conversation, every step forward is progress. Give yourself credit.
That's so important. Learning English is a journey and every step counts.
So remember, consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up little by little every day.
Yes, and if you miss a day, don't worry. Just get back on track the next day.
Great advice, Julia. Now, let's challenge our listeners to start a simple consistency challenge. Okay, listeners, now it's your turn. We want to challenge you to try a simple 7-day English practice challenge.
That's right. For the next 7 days, practice English every day for at least 10 minutes. You can read, listen, speak, or write, whatever you enjoy most.
It doesn't have to be perfect or difficult. Just do a little every day.
Try to make it part of your routine, maybe after breakfast or before you go to bed.
And don't forget to keep track. You can use a notebook, a calendar, or an app to mark each day you practice.
At the end of the week, see how you feel. You might be surprised how much progress you made.
And remember, consistency builds habits, and habits build success.
So are you ready to take the challenge? We believe in you.
We'll check in with you next time to hear how it went. Good luck. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Remember, talent can help you start, but it's consistency that will take you all the way.
Yes, no matter your level, if you keep practicing every day, you will improve. Just keep going, little by little.
Don't be afraid of mistakes or slow progress. Every step counts on your English journey.
Thank you so much for listening. We're proud of you for choosing to learn and grow.
See you next time on the English Learning Podcast. Keep practicing and stay consistent.
Bye, everyone. Keep shining.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and joining me today is our wonderful co-host, Julia.
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone. We're so glad you're here with us. Today's topic is fascinating, and it's one that I think will help a lot of people understand themselves and others better. We're diving into why emotional intelligence, often called EQ, is actually more important than IQ, especially when it comes to life success.
Exactly, Julia. You know, when we think about intelligence, most of us tend to think of IQ, or intelligence quotient. But there's so much more to being smart than just IQ. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, plays a huge role in how we navigate our lives, how we manage relationships, and even how we handle our own emotions. So, let's start by explaining what emotional intelligence actually is.
That's a great place to start, Jason. Emotional intelligence is basically the ability to recognize, understand, and manage not only our own emotions, but also the emotions of others. EQ includes skills like empathy, self-awareness, self-regulation, and social skills. It's all about how we handle our emotions and how well we connect with people.
Absolutely. And one of the most important things to note is that while IQ is often seen as something you're born with and is pretty stable throughout life, EQ is different. You can actually develop and improve your emotional intelligence over time. So, unlike IQ, which might be fixed, EQ can grow.
That's such a valuable point, Jason. A lot of people don't realize that they can actively work on their EQ. And to put things in perspective, imagine a situation at work. Let's say you're dealing with a challenging project. Someone with a high IQ might be able to come up with brilliant ideas or solutions. But if they lack emotional intelligence, they might struggle to communicate those ideas effectively, handle stress well, or work as part of a team.
Right. That's actually a great example. And what's interesting is that research has shown that EQ is a much better predictor of success than IQ alone. People with high emotional intelligence tend to perform better in social and work settings. They're also more resilient, which means they bounce back from setbacks faster.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons why EQ has become so important in today's world. It's not just about being book smart anymore. It's about being emotionally smart too. In fact, studies have shown that people with higher EQ have stronger relationships, better mental health, and are generally more satisfied with their lives.
So true, Julia. And another big reason why EQ is so important is that it helps us build empathy. When we're able to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, we can understand where they're coming from. This is key in building meaningful relationships, whether in the workplace, in friendships, or in our families.
Absolutely. And Jason, let's not forget the power of self-awareness, which is a huge part of EQ. Self-awareness means understanding your own emotions, knowing what triggers certain feelings, and being able to recognize how your emotions affect those around you.
That's so important, Julia, because if we can recognize our emotions and understand them, we're better able to manage them. So, if we feel frustrated or stressed, instead of letting those feelings control us, we can take a step back and decide how we want to respond. This is often called self-regulation, and it's a skill that can be life-changing.
And self-regulation doesn't just benefit us personally. When we're able to control our emotions, we're more likely to handle conflicts calmly and avoid saying things we might regret. This is particularly important in the workplace. Imagine a manager who doesn't have good self-regulation. They might lash out under pressure, which creates a toxic environment. But a manager with high EQ can stay calm and handle stressful situations effectively.
Great point, Julia. And here's another aspect of EQ, motivation. People with high EQ tend to be intrinsically motivated. This means they're driven by inner goals and values, rather than just external rewards like money or status. This kind of motivation can keep people going, even when things get tough.
Yes, that's one of the best parts about having high emotional intelligence. When we're motivated from within, we're more likely to be persistent and to push through challenges. And Jason, this motivation also helps with setting and achieving goals, which is a huge part of personal growth.
Exactly. So, to sum it up, emotional intelligence isn't just about understanding others. It's about understanding ourselves. It involves empathy, self-awareness, self-regulation, and motivation. And these skills can make a huge difference in our lives.
Absolutely, Jason. And before we wrap up, let's give our listeners a few practical tips on how they can improve their own emotional intelligence.
Great idea. Here's a simple one. Start by practicing self-reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to think about how you felt throughout the day and what triggered those emotions. Try to understand why you felt a certain way, and ask yourself how you can manage similar emotions better in the future.
That's a good one. Another tip is to really practice empathy. Try to understand the perspectives of those around you. Ask questions, listen without interrupting, and imagine what it would feel like to be in their position. Over time, this will help you strengthen your ability to connect with others.
And here's one more. Work on your communication skills. Being able to express your feelings clearly and listen actively to others is a big part of emotional intelligence. So, practice active listening. Show people you're really paying attention to them.
Love it, Jason. And for everyone listening, remember that developing emotional intelligence is a journey. It won't happen overnight, but with practice and patience, you'll start seeing positive changes in your relationships, your personal growth, and even your own happiness.
Absolutely, Julia. And if you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe to our podcast and share it with friends who might benefit from it too. Emotional intelligence is something we can all work on, and it's one of the best things we can do for ourselves and for those around us.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. We can't wait to see you next time for more personal growth conversations. Take care, and remember, practice a little empathy and self-awareness every day. It'll make a world of difference.
Bye, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and I'm so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Thanks for joining us. We are really excited about today's topic because it's something that can truly change your English learning journey.
That's right. Today, we're talking about why reading is so important, especially when you're learning English. Whether you're a beginner or someone trying to improve your fluency, reading can help you in so many ways.
Yes, reading helps you learn new words, understand grammar naturally, and even makes you a better speaker and writer. It's one of the easiest and most powerful tools for learning English.
Exactly. And don't worry, we'll explain everything step by step. We'll talk about how reading helps you, what types of books or materials are good for you, how to build a reading habit, and how to deal with challenges when reading.
We'll also share some of our own stories and tips to help you enjoy reading, even if it feels difficult right now. Because trust me, we've been there too.
Before we dive in, I want to share a quick memory. When I first started learning another language, I bought a children's book. It was simple, but I learned so many words just from that one little book.
That's a great tip, Jason. I remember reading short English stories with pictures when I was younger. It made learning so much fun and less stressful.
So, if you're ready to become a better English speaker and build strong language skills, this episode is for you. Let's get started and explore the world of reading.
Grab your notebook, relax, and let's talk about why reading is one of the best things you can do to improve your English.
All right, let's dive into the heart of today's topic, the value of reading when you're learning English.
Yes, reading is such a powerful way to improve your English. When you read regularly, your brain gets used to how English works. The grammar, the sentence structure, the way words are used in context.
Exactly. And one of the biggest benefits is vocabulary. When you read, you see new words again and again. You don't just memorize them, you understand how they're used.
That's so true. Let's say you read a sentence like, "She was exhausted after work." Even if you don't know the word exhausted, the sentence helps you understand that it means very tired.
Yes, and reading gives you these kinds of examples all the time. It's like learning from real-life situations, without needing a teacher.
Another thing is grammar. Some learners don't like studying grammar rules, but when you read a lot, you start to feel what sounds right and what doesn't, naturally.
Right. You might not know the rule, but your brain learns the pattern. For example, after seeing sentences like "she goes" and "he runs," you start to understand subject-verb agreement just by exposure.
That's what makes reading different from just memorizing. You see the language in context, not just on a list.
Also, reading helps improve your pronunciation, too, especially if you try reading out loud. Even if you're not sure how to pronounce everything, it helps build fluency and rhythm.
And it builds confidence. The more you read, the more you understand. And when you understand more, you feel braver when speaking or writing.
You know, I once had a student who was very shy to speak in English, but after she started reading short stories every day, she became more confident. Her vocabulary improved, and she started using full sentences naturally.
That's amazing. Reading really gives you the tools to speak and write better. And it's something you can do on your own, at your own speed.
And you don't need to read long books. Even short texts, like news articles, blog posts, or simple stories, can help a lot.
So remember, reading is not just for fun. It's a smart way to grow your English skills every single day.
That's the value of reading. It teaches you so much, and it fits into your daily life. It's like having a teacher in your hands anytime you open a book.
Coming up next, we'll talk about the best kinds of reading materials for English learners, especially if you're just starting out.
Stay with us. So now that we've talked about how reading helps you learn English, let's look at something just as important. What should you read?
Great question. Many learners think they need to read big novels or textbooks to improve their English. But the truth is, you don't. You can start small.
Absolutely. If you're a beginner, it's best to read something simple and interesting. One of the best options is children's books. They use easy vocabulary and short sentences.
Yes, I always recommend children's books to beginners. They're fun, easy to understand, and often include pictures that help you guess the meaning of words.
Another great choice is graded readers. These are books made specially for English learners. They come in different levels, from beginner to advanced, and usually include a glossary to help with new words.
Exactly. Graded readers are perfect because they are written using only the grammar and vocabulary you already know. That means less frustration and more enjoyment.
And let's not forget comics or graphic novels. They're full of pictures and dialogue, so they're great for understanding conversations and expressions in context.
I love that. Comics also show natural English, how people talk in real life. You can learn a lot of informal language from them.
Now, if you like short reads, you can also try online articles, blogs, or even news websites for learners. Many websites like BBC Learning English or VOA Learning English provide easy articles made for language learners.
Yes, and there are many mobile apps that offer short reading lessons daily. Some even let you click on a word to see the translation or hear how it's pronounced.
So, when choosing something to read, here are a few tips. 1. Pick a topic you like, maybe sports, food, or travel. 2. Make sure it's not too hard. If you don't understand anything, it's probably too difficult. 3. Don't worry about finishing a book. Even a page or two a day is great.
Exactly. And remember, reading should feel fun, not like a test. If it's boring or too hard, you'll stop. But if you enjoy it, you'll keep going.
And that's the key. Find something simple, fun, and helpful. And just start.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how reading doesn't only help with English. It also helps in everyday life and builds useful skills.
That's right. Stay with us. There's so much more to discover. All right, so we've talked about how reading helps you learn English. But reading is not just useful for learning a language. It's also super helpful in real life.
That's right. Reading helps you in so many daily situations, like reading signs, menus, emails, or even messages on your phone.
Exactly. Imagine you're at a restaurant and you can read the menu in English. Or you're at the airport and you understand the signs. That makes life a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yes, And in today's world, we're always reading on social media, websites, or when shopping online. If you can read in English, you can understand so much more of the world around you.
Also, many jobs today need basic reading skills. If you can read instructions, emails, or reports in English, it helps you work better and faster.
And reading helps you stay informed. You can read the news, learn about what's happening in other countries, or understand global events. That's really important in today's connected world.
Another big benefit is that reading makes you a more independent person. You don't always need someone to explain things. You can read and understand them by yourself.
Yes, and that builds confidence. When you can read something and understand it, you feel proud. You believe in yourself more.
And here's another benefit, not just for your brain, but also your heart. Reading can help you relax. Many people read before bed to calm their minds.
So true. Reading can reduce stress and help you sleep better. It's like a quiet friend that takes you to another world for a little while.
So to sum it up, reading helps you in everyday life. It helps you understand signs, menus, and messages. It supports your work and studies. It keeps you informed, and it even makes you feel calm and happy.
That's the power of reading. It's not just for the classroom, it's for life.
Coming up next, we'll share some simple tips to help you build a reading habit, even if you're busy or new to reading in English.
Stick with us. We're here to help you make reading a fun and easy part of your daily routine.
Welcome back. So now that we know how important reading is, let's talk about something really practical. How can you make reading a daily habit?
Yes, this is where many learners get stuck. They know reading is good, but they say, I don't have time or I forget. But the truth is, you don't need a lot of time to start.
That's right. You can start with just 5 or 10 minutes a day, maybe after you wake up or before you go to sleep. Find a time that works best for you.
Exactly. And try to make it part of your routine. For example, if you drink tea or coffee in the morning, read something short while you sip your drink.
Another tip is keep your reading material close. Maybe carry a small book or use an app on your phone so you can read when you're waiting for a bus or standing in line.
Yes, little moments during the day can become reading time. You don't need a full hour, you just need to build the habit.
Also, choose things you enjoy. If you like sports, read sports news. If you like cooking, read recipes in English. When you enjoy what you're reading, it doesn't feel like homework.
Another helpful trick is to set a small goal. For example, I will read one short story a week or I will read 5 pages a day. Goals help you stay motivated.
Right. And if you like tracking progress, use a notebook or app to write down what you read. It feels good to see your progress grow.
And don't worry about understanding every word. That's normal. Just try to understand the main idea. If a word comes up many times, you can look it up.
Here's something I tell my students. It's okay to read slowly. You're learning. Even native speakers don't read fast all the time.
That's great advice. And if you can, try reading out loud sometimes. It helps your speaking too.
So let's review some easy tips to make reading a daily habit. Start small, 5 to 10 minutes a day. Pick a time that fits your day. Read topics you enjoy. Set simple reading goals. Don't stress about understanding everything, and most of all, keep going.
Reading a little every day makes a big difference over time.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how reading also helps improve your writing and speaking skills.
Yes, you'll see how reading and other skills are connected, so don't miss it.
All right, welcome back. So far, we've talked about how to build a reading habit and why it matters. But let's be honest, reading in English isn't always easy.
That's true. Many learners face challenges. Some feel frustrated, some feel bored, and some just don't know where to start. But don't worry, we've all been there, and you're not alone.
Let's look at some of the most common problems English learners face when trying to read, and more importantly, how to overcome them.
The first challenge is I don't understand many words. This is very common. When you see too many new words, it's easy to feel lost.
Yes, but here's the solution. Don't stop every time you see a new word. Just keep reading and try to understand the meaning from the context. Only look up the word if it's very important.
Exactly. Over time, you'll start to guess the meaning of words naturally. That's how you build your vocabulary.
Another challenge. Reading is boring. Some learners feel sleepy or unmotivated when reading. The truth is, it's probably the wrong material.
Right. If the book or article is too hard or the topic is not interesting, you'll stop. So always choose something fun, simple, and exciting for you.
Here's another one. I don't have time. We get it. People are busy. But you don't need an hour. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Read while waiting for a bus or before you sleep.
Even small moments can help. A little reading every day is better than a lot of reading once a month.
What about this one I read? But I forget everything.
That's a good one. The answer is take small notes. After reading, write down 3 new words or 1 short summary. This helps your brain remember.
Also, try to talk or write about what you read. Tell a friend or write a few sentences. That way, you use the language actively.
Another tip is to reread. Don't be afraid to read the same story again. It helps you understand better the second time.
So, to recap, here are the common reading challenges and how to fix them. Don't know many words. Keep going, guess meaning, and look up later. Bored when reading. Choose topics you love. No time? Just read for 5 minutes a day. Forget what you read? Take notes, reread, or talk about it.
Exactly. Reading is a journey. There are ups and downs, but if you keep going, you'll get better day by day.
Coming up next, we'll give you some great book and app recommendations to help you get started easily and enjoyably.
You won't want to miss this. These tools can make your reading experience much more fun and successful.
Welcome back. Now let's talk about something exciting. Fun and creative ways to enjoy reading.
Yes, reading doesn't always have to mean sitting down with a big book. There are many fun ways to read and learn at the same time.
Let's start with one of my favorites, reading out loud. This is great for your speaking and pronunciation. Just take a short story or article and read it out loud to yourself.
That's a great idea. You can even record yourself reading and then listen. It's a fun way to hear how you sound and improve your fluency.
Here's another fun activity, reading with a partner. You can read a short dialogue with a friend. One person takes one role, and the other takes the second. Like a little play.
Yes, and if you don't have a partner, you can even read both roles yourself. It's silly, but it helps with practice and builds confidence.
Another idea is to draw what you read. After reading a short story or paragraph, try drawing the scene. This helps you understand and remember the story better.
Oh, that's fun. You can also do a word hunt. Choose 5 new words from what you read and make sentences with them, or use them to create a short story of your own.
That's great for writing practice, too. And here's a simple one read and acted out. After reading a story, act out the characters. Use your body, your face, your voice.
Yes, kids do this naturally, and it's a great way for adults to have fun with reading, too.
How about reading challenges? You can give yourself small reading goals like read 3 stories this week or read 1 news article every day.
I love that. You can even make it a game. Give yourself a star or reward for each goal you complete. It keeps you excited to read more.
So here are some creative reading ideas to try. Read out loud. Act out the story. Draw the scene. Do a word hunt. Read with a friend or partner. Create reading challenges for yourself.
When reading is fun, you'll want to do it more often, and that's the key to success.
Up next, we'll talk about something really inspiring, how reading can actually change your life.
Yes, reading is not just about learning. It's about growing, dreaming, and becoming the best version of yourself. Don't miss this part.
We've talked about a lot today, from why reading is important, to fun ways to enjoy it, and even how to overcome challenges. But now, let's end with something from the heart.
Yes, reading is more than just learning English. It's about opening your mind, discovering new worlds, and becoming a better version of yourself.
That's true. When you read, you grow. You don't just learn new words. You learn new ideas, new cultures, and even new ways to think.
And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You don't need to understand every word. What's important is that you keep going.
Yes, don't give up. Even if it feels hard at the beginning, every page you read brings you one step closer to fluency.
So make reading a part of your life. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can create a big change over time.
Read what you love. Read with joy. Read with curiosity. And most of all, believe in yourself. You can do this.
Absolutely. You are stronger than you think. English is a journey, and reading is one of the best tools to help you succeed.
And we're here with you every step of the way. Keep listening, keep learning, and most importantly, keep reading.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and try one of the reading tips we shared.
Until next time, stay curious, stay motivated, and keep reading.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to improving your English skills step by step.
And I'm Sarah, your co-host. Together, we'll make learning English fun, simple, and useful for your everyday life. Today, we're diving into an interesting and important topic. Can you talk to many people in English?
Now, if you're a beginner English learner, you might feel nervous or unsure when you're in a group of people speaking English. Maybe you worry about saying the wrong thing, or you're not sure how to jump into the conversation.
That's completely normal. We've all been there at some point. Speaking in front of many people can feel intimidating, even in your native language. But don't worry. By the end of this episode, you'll have practical tips and strategies to help you feel more confident and ready to join group conversations in English.
Exactly. In this podcast, we'll talk about common challenges beginners face when speaking in a group, and we'll also share some simple and effective tips that you can use right away. Plus, we've got a fun role-play exercise later in the episode to show you how these tips work in real conversations.
So, whether you're preparing for a class discussion, a meeting at work, or even a casual chat with friends, this episode is for you. Let's get started and discover how you can speak to many people in English confidently and naturally.
And as always, if you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us create more helpful content for you. Now let's jump into today's topic. Before we dive deeper, Sarah, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt nervous about speaking English in front of a group of people?
Oh, definitely, Jason. When I first started learning English, speaking in front of even 2 or 3 people felt overwhelming. I was so afraid of making mistakes or embarrassing myself.
That's such a common feeling, especially for beginners. What do you think makes it so challenging to talk to many people in English?
Well, for one, there's the pressure of trying to keep up with the conversation. Everyone is talking, and you might feel like you don't know when to speak or what to say. It can be hard to find the right words quickly, especially if the group is speaking fast.
That's a great point. Sometimes you also have to deal with different accents or speaking styles, which can make understanding others even trickier.
Exactly. And then there's the fear of being judged. Many learners think, what if they laugh at my mistakes? Or, what if I say something wrong?
True, but here's the thing. Most people are supportive and happy that you're trying to speak their language. Making mistakes is just part of the learning process.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to remind ourselves that it's okay to make mistakes. It's all about practicing and improving over time.
Well said, Sarah. All right, now that we've warmed up, let's talk about the specific challenges of speaking English in a group and how to tackle. All right, Sarah, let's dive into the challenges of talking to many people in English. What's the first challenge you think beginners face?
I'd say the biggest one is shyness. Many learners feel too shy to speak up in a group. They might think, what if my grammar is wrong? Or, what if people don't understand me? That fear can stop them from even trying.
That's so true. Another challenge is fear of making mistakes. Some learners think that making mistakes will make them look silly, but in reality, making mistakes is part of the process.
Absolutely. And then there's the issue of understanding others. In a group, everyone might speak differently. Some people talk fast, others have strong accents, and it can be overwhelming to follow the conversation.
Yes, and sometimes it's not just understanding, it's knowing when to speak. In group settings, conversations can move quickly, and it can feel like there's never a perfect moment to jump in.
Exactly. Many beginners struggle with finding the right words. Even if they have an idea in their head, it can be hard to put it into words fast enough to join the conversation.
These are very real challenges, and it's important for learners to know they're not alone in facing them. But the good news is that every one of these challenges can be overcome with practice and the right strategies.
That's right. And coming up next, we'll share some practical tips to help you tackle these challenges and feel more confident speaking in groups.
Stay tuned. This is where the fun part begins. Now that we've talked about the challenges, let's get into some practical tips for beginners. Sarah, what's the first tip you'd recommend for someone who feels nervous about speaking in a group?
The first tip is to start small. If you're nervous, don't try to jump into big groups right away. Start with a conversation with just one or two people. This helps you build confidence before speaking in larger groups.
That's a great point. The second tip is practice active listening. Focus on really listening to what others are saying. This not only helps you understand the conversation better, but also gives you time to think of what you want to say next.
Exactly. And tip number 3 is to learn key phrases. It can be helpful to have a few phrases prepared in advance to join a conversation, like, "That's a great point," or "I agree with you." These simple phrases can help you feel more involved without stressing about what to say.
I love that tip. Another useful tip is to ask questions. If you're unsure what to say, asking questions is a great way to keep the conversation going. You can ask, "Could you explain that a little more?" Or, "What do you think about this topic?"
Yes, asking questions not only helps you participate, but also shows you're engaged in the conversation.
And lastly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay if you don't always get it perfect. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Mistakes are part of the journey.
That's so true. So start small, listen carefully, ask questions, and most importantly, keep practicing.
And now to really bring these tips to life, let's do a quick role play exercise. All right, now let's put these tips into action with a quick role play. Sarah and I will act out a scenario where we're in a small group discussion, and I'm going to show you how we can use the tips we just talked about. Ready, Sarah?
Ready, Jason. Let's say we're at a meeting with some colleagues discussing a project.
I'll start the conversation. So, Sarah, what do you think about the new plan for the project? Do you think it'll work?
Ready, Jason. Let's say we're at a meeting with some colleagues discussing a project.
I see your point. I think we could extend the timeline by a week. What do you think about that idea?
Listening carefully. That's a good question, Jason. I think the plan is great, but I have a few concerns about the timeline. We might need more time to finish everything. Notice how Sarah listens first and then shares her thoughts, staying calm and confident.
Using a simple phrase to agree. That's a great point, Sarah. I'll check in with the team to see how they're doing. Let's make sure everyone is on the same page.
Nods and asks a question to keep the conversation going. I agree. Extending the timeline sounds good, but do you think the team will be able to handle the extra work?
Yes, I think that would be a good idea. Let's schedule it for next week.
Asking a follow-up question. Thanks, Jason. Do you think we should have another meeting to discuss this with the team?
To the listeners, as you can see, Sarah used a lot of great techniques here. She started by listening, asked questions to keep the conversation going, and didn't worry about making mistakes. She was confident and engaged throughout the conversation.
Summarizing the conversation to wrap it up. Okay, sounds like we have a plan. I'll let everyone know about the changes.
That's right. Now let's move on to the next section. Now that we've talked about the practical tips and shown you how to apply them, let's take a moment to encourage you. Sarah, speaking in a group can feel intimidating, but how important is it to keep pushing through those fears?
And remember, this is just a simple example of how you can speak in a group. You don't have to be perfect. Just practice and keep improving.
That's such a great point, Sarah. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. And every conversation you have is a step forward. Even if you make mistakes, you're learning and improving.
It's incredibly important, Jason. The more you practice, the more confident you become. I remember when I was first starting, I was terrified to speak in front of others. But over time, I realized that each small conversation was a victory. The more I practiced, the easier it became.
That's right. And remember, no one expects you to be perfect. The goal is to communicate and to keep practicing. The more you put yourself out there, the more you'll realize that people are supportive and they appreciate your effort to speak their language.
Exactly. And don't forget, you're not alone in this journey. Every English speaker, even native speakers, has faced challenges in conversations at some point, but the key is to keep going, even when it feels difficult.
Absolutely. So, keep pushing yourself. Join those conversations, ask questions, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. With time and practice, you'll be able to talk confidently with many people in English.
And here's a little motivation. You're already on the right path just by listening to this podcast and practicing. Think of how much you've improved already. Every step counts.
So keep practicing, stay positive, and remember, the journey to fluency is all about consistency and patience. You've got this. Before we wrap up, we received a great question from one of our listeners that we want to answer. Sarah, here's the question. How do I handle it if I don't understand something in a group conversation?
We believe in you, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
Exactly. Asking for clarification is a normal part of communication. People will appreciate that you're engaged and want to understand. It's better to ask than to pretend you understand, which can lead to misunderstandings later.
That's such a good question. First of all, don't panic. It happens to everyone, even to people who are fluent in a language. If you don't understand something, it's completely okay to ask for clarification. You can say things like, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again?" Or, "Could you explain that a little more?"
That's a great point, Sarah. If you're still unsure, you can always follow up later. If you didn't fully understand something in the moment, it's okay to ask someone to explain it to you afterwards.
Absolutely. And another thing you can do is listen for context. Sometimes, even if you don't understand every word, the general meaning of the conversation can still be clear. Pay attention to the tone and body language of the speakers. It can help you figure out what's being discussed.
Exactly. And we hope that answers your question. If any of you have more questions, feel free to send them in, and we'll answer them in future episodes.
And remember, everyone has moments where they don't understand something. It's totally normal, so don't be afraid to ask questions and take your time to make sure you understand.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. We've covered a lot of ground, from the challenges of speaking in English with many people to practical tips and even a role play to help you build your confidence.
Keep those questions coming, and we're always here to help.
Exactly, and the key takeaway from today's episode is that everyone, even native speakers, faces difficulties in conversations. The most important thing is to keep practicing, stay patient with yourself, and believe that you're making progress, even on the tough days.
That's right, Jason. Remember, speaking in groups can be challenging, but it's also a fantastic way to improve your English. Don't let fear hold you back. The more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you'll become.
Absolutely, and remember, this journey is all about consistency. Every conversation, every question, and every little bit of practice gets you one step closer to fluency.
Yes, and keep using the tips we shared. Start small, listen carefully, ask questions, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Over time, these small steps will add up to huge improvements in your speaking ability.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope this episode helped you feel more confident about speaking in English with many people. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave us a comment.
So keep practicing, stay motivated, and don't be afraid to speak up. You're doing amazing, and we're so proud of you.
See you next time.
We'll be back soon with more tips and conversations to help you improve your English. Keep practicing and take care.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast, where we help you improve your English through real conversations and fun topics. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so excited you're here with us today. We've got a really interesting and maybe even a little controversial topic to talk about.
Oh, yes. Today's question is one many learners are asking now: who teaches English better, ChatGPT or a real human teacher?
It sounds like a big question, right? With AI like ChatGPT becoming more popular, many English learners are using it every day. But is it better than a real teacher, or can it replace a teacher?
Or maybe it's not about better. Maybe they're just different. In this episode, we'll compare both how a human teacher teaches, how ChatGPT teaches, and what's best for you, the learner.
We'll even do a fun role play later to show you the difference between learning with ChatGPT and learning with a real teacher.
So if you've ever wondered whether you should stick with classes, try learning with AI, or maybe use both, this episode is for you.
And don't worry, we'll keep it simple, clear, and full of practical tips. So grab a notebook or just relax and listen.
Let's jump in and explore what makes a great English teacher human or AI. So, Julia, before we compare ChatGPT and AI tools, let's talk about human teachers first. In your opinion, what makes a great English teacher?
Great question, Jason. I think a great English teacher is not just someone who knows grammar rules. It's someone who can explain things clearly, correct you gently, and really connect with the student.
Absolutely. I've had teachers who made me feel excited to learn, not afraid to make mistakes. That emotional support, that encouragement, it makes a huge difference.
Right. And great teachers often understand their students' needs. For example, if a student is shy, they might ask more yes/no questions to make the student comfortable.
Yeah, or they might use games or role play to make the class more fun and interactive.
Also, great teachers are flexible. If you don't understand something, they try a different way. Maybe they draw, act it out, or give simple examples. That kind of creativity is powerful.
And don't forget real-time feedback. A teacher can immediately correct your pronunciation, your sentence structure, or even give you a cultural tip like, "Hey, in real life, people say it this way."
Exactly. And many teachers bring real-world experience. Maybe they lived in an English-speaking country, or they know common slang, idioms, or how people really talk in daily life.
So it's not just about the textbook. It's about experience, emotion, encouragement, and human connection.
Well said. A good teacher makes you feel confident. A great teacher makes you feel like you can do anything, even if English seems hard at first.
So now that we've painted a good picture of what human teachers can offer, let's take a look at how ChatGPT teaches English. Is it the same? Is it better? Or just different?
Let's find out.
All right, so we've talked about what makes a great human teacher. Now, let's talk about the other side. ChatGPT. Julia, how would you explain what ChatGPT is to someone who has never used it?
Good question. ChatGPT is an AI chatbot. It's like a smart robot you can chat with by typing. You ask it questions, and it gives you answers in natural English. Many people use it to learn grammar, improve vocabulary, or even practice conversations.
Right, and it's available 24/7. You don't need to book a lesson or wait for class. You just open the app or website and start chatting like texting a very smart English buddy.
Exactly. You can ask it things like, "What's the difference between say and tell? Can you correct my sentence? Can you help me write an email in English?" And ChatGPT will answer in seconds.
What's cool is that it can adjust to your level. If you say, "I'm a beginner," it will use simpler words. If you're more advanced, it gives more detail.
Also, it's super patient. You can ask the same question 5 times and it won't get annoyed.
Haha, yes. And for people who feel nervous speaking to real teachers, ChatGPT feels safe. There's no pressure. You can make mistakes, and no one's judging you.
Plus, it gives examples. If you say, "Can you give me 5 sentences using present perfect?" it will give them immediately and even explain why.
And one more thing, it's not just about grammar. You can have full conversations. You can say, "Let's talk about food," or pretend you're a waiter and it plays along. That's great speaking practice.
So true. It's like having your own personal English assistant in your pocket.
But is it the same as learning with a real teacher? Can it feel human enough? That's what we're going to explore next. And we've prepared a fun little role play to compare the two.
Yes, let's show our listeners how learning looks with a teacher and with ChatGPT. This will be fun.
All right, Julia, it's time for a little fun. We're going to do a short role play to show what it's like to learn English with a human teacher. And then with ChatGPT.
Yes, so I'll play the English learner named Ali, and you'll be the teacher in the first scene. Then in the second scene, I'll talk to ChatGPT. Ready?
Let's do it! Scene 1. Ali with a human English teacher.
Hi, teacher. I want to ask, what is the difference between say and tell? I always get confused.
Great question, Ali. Both say and tell are used to report speech, but they work a bit differently. We usually use say without a person. She said she was tired. And we use tell when we say who we are talking to. She told me she was tired.
Oh, so say is more general and tell is more direct to a person?
Exactly. Would you like to try making a few sentences?
Okay, he said he loves pizza, and she told me to come early.
Perfect. You got it. Keep practicing with different subjects, and soon it will feel natural.
Thank you, teacher. That really helped.
Nice! That was the Human Teacher Experience clear explanation, examples, and encouragement.
Now let's switch to ChatGPT. Same question, but now Ali is chatting with ChatGPT. I'll be both characters here. Scene 2. Ali talking to ChatGPT. Hi, ChatGPT. What's the difference between say and tell? Hi! Great question. Say is used when you don't mention who you are speaking to. She said she was hungry. Tell is used when you say who you are speaking to. She told me she was hungry. Let me know if you want more examples or practice. Can you give me 5 examples of each? Sure. Examples of say, he said he was late. They said it was a great movie. I said I would help. She said she liked music. John said he was tired. Examples of tell. He told me the story. I told her the truth. She told us to wait. They told me a secret. You told him everything. Would you like to make your own sentences? Yes, here's one. He said he was tired, and she told me to call her. Well done! Both sentences are correct. Keep practicing and feel free to ask me anything anytime.
Wow! That was a really good comparison. Both gave helpful answers, right?
Yes, but the feeling is different. The human teacher gives emotion, tone, and can see your confusion. ChatGPT gives quick, clear info and tons of examples.
So both are useful, depending on what you need: speed and examples, or human connection and live feedback.
Exactly, and now let's go deeper into what ChatGPT does really well. Ready?
Let's go. So Julia, after that fun role play, I think it's clear ChatGPT has some pretty cool strengths. Let's talk about the advantages of learning English with ChatGPT.
Yes. First of all, ChatGPT is always available. You don't need to wait for class or schedule a lesson. You can practice English anytime, even in the middle of the night.
That's so true. Some learners live in places where good English teachers are hard to find. But ChatGPT is right there on your phone or laptop, ready to help you 24/7.
Another big advantage, no fear of judgment. Some learners feel shy or nervous when speaking in front of a teacher or classmates. But with ChatGPT, there's no pressure. You can ask questions again and again without feeling embarrassed.
Exactly. You can say, "Explain this grammar rule again," or "Can you make it even simpler?" And ChatGPT never gets tired or annoyed.
Also, it's great for getting quick examples. You can ask, give me 10 sentences using past tense. Can you write a short dialogue about ordering food? And it gives you answers instantly.
And let's not forget personalization. You can say, "I'm a beginner," or "I want to learn British English," or "I want to practice business English," and it adapts to you.
It's like a flexible English tutor that listens to your learning style. You can also ask it to quiz you, explain idioms, translate words, or even correct your writing.
And here's something people love: it's free or very low cost. Private English lessons can be expensive, but ChatGPT gives you high-quality help without the big price tag.
Totally. So if you're learning on a budget or just starting out, ChatGPT can be a great way to build your skills quickly.
But as helpful as ChatGPT is, it also has some limits. That's where human teachers still shine.
Yes, and we'll talk about that next, the real benefits of learning with a human teacher.
Stick around. So Julia, we just talked about how ChatGPT is flexible, fast, and always available. But now let's turn the spotlight back to human teachers. What are the advantages of learning with a real person?
Well, one of the biggest ones is human connection. A teacher can look at your face, hear your voice, and understand when you're confused even if you don't say it.
Yes, that emotional connection is powerful. A good teacher can encourage you when you're frustrated or cheer you on when you succeed. It feels personal.
And human teachers can adapt in real time. Let's say you don't understand a word, a teacher might draw it, act it out, or give a real-life example to help you understand it better.
Right? Plus, they can correct your pronunciation live. With ChatGPT, it's all text. But a teacher can hear your accent and help you say words more clearly. That's a big deal.
Also, human teachers often bring cultural knowledge. They can teach you things like tone, body language, or what's polite or rude in different English-speaking countries.
Good point. Sometimes language isn't just about grammar, it's about how and when to use certain words, especially in social situations. That's where teachers really help.
Another great thing, motivation and accountability. A teacher checks your homework, gives you goals, and keeps you on track. You feel responsible, which pushes you to try harder.
Exactly. Some learners say, if I'm studying alone, I give up easily. But if I know my teacher is waiting, I don't skip.
And teachers also create interactive activities, role plays, games, group discussions. These are hard to experience with AI.
Plus, teachers can see your progress over time. They remember your mistakes and help you grow step by step.
So, even though AI is fast and convenient, the human touch still matters, especially when you want deep understanding, emotional support, and personalized feedback.
Couldn't agree more. But now the big question is, do we have to choose just one?
Let's talk about that next. Maybe there's a way to use both and get the best of both worlds.
So far, we've seen the strengths of both ChatGPT and human teachers. But Julia, let's clear up a few myths, because there's a lot of confusion out there.
Yes, so true. Let's start with myth 1. ChatGPT can replace teachers completely. No, not really. ChatGPT is powerful, but it can't do everything a teacher can, like read emotions, guide your motivation, or help with speaking in real time.
Exactly. And here's myth 2. If I have a teacher, I don't need AI tools. Actually, AI and teachers can work together. Many great learners use both. ChatGPT can help with quick questions, while your teacher helps with depth, feedback, and practice.
Myth 3. ChatGPT always gives perfect answers. Nope. Sometimes it can make small mistakes or give answers that don't fit your level or your question. That's why you still need to think critically and, if possible, ask your teacher to confirm.
Great point. And finally, myth 4. Only real teachers can help with speaking practice. Actually, ChatGPT can help you create role plays, practice dialogues, and even give feedback on writing. But yes, for pronunciation and real-life speaking, teachers are still the best.
So don't believe the hype or the fear. ChatGPT is not your enemy. It's just another tool, and how you use it makes all the difference.
Well said. And coming up next, we'll talk about how learners can actually combine both ChatGPT and teachers for the best learning experience. So now that we've talked about the strengths of both ChatGPT and human teachers, the big question is, can they work together?
I say absolutely, yes. In fact, combining them might be the smartest way to learn English today.
Let's break it down. Imagine you go to an English class twice a week. That's great for real interaction, feedback, and guidance. But in between classes, you want to practice more, right?
Exactly. That's where ChatGPT comes in. You can use it to review vocabulary, ask grammar questions, or practice short conversations anytime you want, even at night or during lunch breaks.
It's like having a study buddy in your pocket. And the best part? It's always ready to help, no appointments needed.
And teachers can even recommend how students use ChatGPT. For example, use ChatGPT to practice writing your diary every day. Use it to learn new idioms or role play before your next class. It becomes a learning assistant, not a replacement.
That's such a great way to think about it, as a tool that supports your learning journey.
Yes, and for people who don't have access to a teacher, ChatGPT can help them start learning on their own, and maybe later they'll join a class or get a tutor too.
So in short, it's not about choosing one over the other. It's about using both wisely human guidance plus smart technology.
That's the future of learning: flexible, personal, and powerful.
Coming up next, we'll give some simple tips on how you, the listener, can create your own learning routine using both. Shall we continue to the next part? All right, so if you're listening and thinking, okay, I want to use both ChatGPT and a teacher, but how do I actually do that? Don't worry, we've got some easy tips for you.
Tip number 1, use ChatGPT for daily practice. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day can help. You can ask ChatGPT to quiz you on vocabulary practice, writing short paragraphs, do grammar exercises, or have a simple conversation like, "Let's talk about travel."
Tip number 2. Prepare for your teacher lessons with ChatGPT. Before your next class, you can warm up by reviewing grammar points, writing a few questions, or practicing a topic like ordering food in a restaurant.
Yes, that makes your class more productive because you come in with some ideas and confidence.
Tip number 3. After class, use ChatGPT to review. If your teacher gave you feedback or new phrases, you can ask ChatGPT to help you practice them again in different sentences or situations.
Tip number 4, build your own learning routine. For example, Monday, 30 minutes with ChatGPT, grammar plus conversation. Tuesday, English class with a teacher. Wednesday, vocabulary quiz with ChatGPT. Thursday, write a short story and ask ChatGPT to check it. Friday, class again or speaking practice with a friend.
The key is balance. Let your teacher guide the path, and let ChatGPT support you every step of the way.
You'll move faster, feel more confident, and enjoy learning more.
Coming up next, it's time to answer the big question: who wins the battle? ChatGPT or teacher? All right, Julia, after everything we've talked about today, what do you think who wins the battle? ChatGPT or a human teacher?
You know, Jason, honestly, I don't think there's a clear winner. Both have unique strengths, and the best choice really depends on the learner's needs and situation.
Exactly. If someone needs emotional support, motivation, and live feedback, a human teacher is unbeatable.
But if you want quick answers, constant availability, and extra practice, anytime ChatGPT is amazing.
Plus, for learners on a budget or in remote places, ChatGPT opens doors that might otherwise stay closed.
The smartest learners will use both. They'll get the personal touch from teachers and the endless practice from AI.
At the end of the day, the best teacher is the one who helps you keep learning and feeling confident.
That's right. So don't stress about choosing sides. Focus on what works for your style and your goals.
Thanks for listening to our English Learning Podcast. We hope this episode helped you understand the strengths of ChatGPT and teachers.
Don't forget to try both, experiment, and enjoy your English learning journey.
Thanks for joining us today on the English Learning Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into ChatGPT versus human teachers.
We'd love to hear from you. What do you think? Do you prefer learning with a teacher, ChatGPT, or maybe a mix of both? Share your thoughts in the comments or send us a message.
And if you found this episode helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends who are learning English too.
Remember, the most important thing is to keep practicing every day, no matter which method you choose.
We'll be back soon with more fun and useful English learning tips. Until then, keep speaking, keep learning, and stay confident.
Bye for now, and thanks again for listening.
See you next time.